everybody, this is Young Living Diamond Sarah Harnish, and this is a super low-key video tonight. We're just hanging out a little bit. I just did a big old workout. Whew, and it is hot out here, but thankfully not as hot as it is in Oregon State, where my sister is living, or in Washington State. It's pretty crazy. They're breaking records like insanity out there. 115 plus degrees is pretty nuts. But you know, South Carolina heat, it is pretty warm outside. So I hope you guys are having an awesome summer. We just wrapped up the gut health class last night. So if you haven't had a chance to go check that out yet, that video, I highly recommend that you get to go take a peek at it. And we went through everything gut health. So this is what the PowerPoint looks like. Guys, these are free. It doesn't cost you anything. So we go through the Remembering Gary tab, talk about what fine looks like. I share a little bit of my story. What is your gut? Facts about the human gut. Why is gut health so important? What can damage the gut? We talk a little bit about the GAPS diet, offenders and healers, sugar, gluten, and then dairy. What can I eat if you've cut everything out of my diet? We talk about fermented foods and foods that do heal the gut lining, bone broth, organic foods, good fats, different places to start learning about gut health. And then we talk about some top supplements in Young Living that are really good for the gut, like probiotics, enzymes, omegas. And then there is actually a gut health oil. So frankincense is a gut health oil, and we did a couple videos from Young Living on that. Where do you begin? And we talk about some documentaries, and what you put in your body matters. A little DIY, and then we did the apply it section, and that wrapped up the gut health class. So it was just so much fun and very, very different from any class I've ever taught before. Very different. I mean, if you're used to my oils classes, this was different, next level. Did you talk about energy drinks last night? No, I didn't, but I'm not going to make a list of every single thing you cannot have, but definitely energy drinks would be something you would want to try to stay away from for sure. What I would do is cut it out 100% and then start doing the repair, needed to have good health. So just a huge shout out to Vicky and Helen and Cecilia, Missy, Chris Wheeler, like all of the things. Love you guys so much. Thank you for popping on. So tonight we're going to talk about the Mini. And this is a tool that I use in my classes when I'm teaching. So when I teach any class, whether it's a gut health class or any of the 25 classes, I hand this out. And I tell them after the class to go back home, open up to that class. It's 2 pages. It's like a 3-minute read. And just to read through the content and then tell me which class they would like next out of the book. I don't ask yes or no questions. I ask yes and yes questions so that they're excited and they're coming back. And all 25 classes are listed in the front of the book. When they sign up with you, they can put down their member ID, PIN number, and password right in the inside of the Mini, and then make it a goal to get them to all 25 classes. So they're really, really well educated on all things oils. So this totally scared me listening to all of this. Before we start today, because I've just been praying over you guys on and off all day today and the stuff that we talked about yesterday. I know for many of you, this is new content. Like, you haven't been exposed. You didn't know you couldn't cook olive oil, right? Zing is amazing. Yeah, Zing is phenomenal. Anything that Young Living makes is really, really well done. I've been very impressed, and I'm a really rough label reader, like really intense label reader. Like, for example, I'll go grab cauliflower chips and it'll have in there cassava root flour. And for me, that's a starch. So I know I don't handle potatoes and rice and all of that very well with my body. I notice a change and a difference. So I got to stay away from cauliflower chips. Right? It's like, well, geez, if I can't eat cauliflower chips, what can I eat? So I think part of it, guys, is just finding balance. Finding what works for you, maybe for a season, doing some gut healing when you have a window to be able to do it. So I know my daughter's getting married in 16 weeks and my son is getting married in 12 weeks in 2 different states. So I know September, October, probably not going to be the months I'm going to be doing a lot of gut healing. But I've got July and August to get a really good leg up. So you're going to see a lot of things from me as I'm making nourishing foods and working through the stages of the GAPS diet again. About every 3 to 4 years, I go revisit it again and just do a little reset, even if it's only a month, working through the stages. But I like to sit down and just do deliberate, focused gut health healing from my body. So this is something that I'm very passionate about because I've lived on the other side of it. Nobody's going to stand over you guys as adults and say, oh my gosh, put that pop away. Like, don't touch that. Don't touch that energy drink. You really don't need that chocolate today. You don't need the sugar. You don't need this. Nobody's going to stand over and tell you guys that. But, you're going to get to a point personally where you step back and say, I just can't deal with having a headache every single day. I can't deal with needing to drink Starbucks coffee just to get moving because I have no energy. If you have no energy, it's because your cells aren't being fed. They're hungry. They need nutrients, right? Just like you can't run a marathon and drink no water. So there's something in your diet that's missing. That's your body giving you cues saying, hey, I just can't live in this place anymore. You're going to have to use outside things to keep me going because what I need to keep going and what you think I need to keep going are not the same thing, right? When you get to that place where you are tired of the way that you feel, you're tired of the inflammation, you're tired of the inability to lose weight, you're tired of all the hormone problems, you're tired of having a hard time sleeping, aches and pains, joint pain, all that kind of stuff, then it's time. Then you're ready. Then you're ready for a class like this. And please hear my heart, because I don't want you guys to step back and just say, this is just too hard. I can't do a radical diet change like that. That's too much. I can cut out one thing. I can start in one place. Here's the thing. The Lord is going to tell you where to begin. There's about 100 places that you can begin with gut healing. My goal was just to lay it on the table with you and just say, hey, these are some things that could hurt you. As a Diamond leader in Young Living and a huge label reader and somebody who came from the other side. I mean, I had 30 years of Mountain Dew and frozen burritos and frozen chicken Kievs and all processed food. I mean, I can count in my childhood, probably on two hands, the number of times I had fresh fruits or vegetables. That's no joke. I'm talking maybe 10 times my entire childhood. Everything came out of cans. If we ate vegetables at all, it was canned vegetables. Well, when you heat it to put it in a can, you kill everything. You kill all the good stuff in it. So if you're going to buy vegetables and you don't want to do fresh stuff, it would be better to do frozen than something that's heated and canned. And you're just losing the nutrients out of it. So I understand that world because I had to teach myself everything. I mean, my mother is not a cook. My father is not a cook. And then I left that household with a father that is a, heavy alcoholic. I left that household and I started my own home. I met my husband when I was 16 years old. We got married when I was 19 years old. And we started 12 years in the projects. And so if you've lived on food stamps and you lived in the projects, everything's processed. It's what people are donating and what the food pantries can get in. So you're going to get boxed stuffing and you're going to get chocolate pudding. There was one time where the kids and I literally lived off chocolate pudding for 3 straight days. We had it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 3 days. You can't eat like that and be okay. And we were on food stamps for 12 years and living in the government projects. So I came off of 18 years of eating poorly and all processed food in my childhood. It was Ho-Hos and Twinkies when we came home from school, the school lunches in the lunchroom, skipping breakfast, eating stuff out of the vending machines, sugar, candy, all sorts of stuff, pop every single day to keep myself going. Then I came home, ate the junk food. And then when we did sit down and have a dinner, it was all processed. It was all out of boxes, frozen Salisbury steaks, if my parents could make it really quickly out of a box, that's what we ate. So that was my childhood. And I went from that into the projects and into processed food and what people gave us. So for the first 30 years of my life, I thought that the way I felt was the only way the human body could feel. I never felt anything different. I thought you were supposed to have daily headaches and you were supposed to have hormone problems. And when you got your cycle, you were supposed to be in bed with cramps. It was supposed to feel like that. And my face, it was covered in acne, but it was covered in acne because I thought that that's just what teenagers had to go through. And it's crazy. If you guys saw my face, even a couple of years ago, drinking all of that sugar with a candida, I have done a lot of gut work to look okay at 43, a lot of gut work because of the cysts. And I actually even had some ice cream. I don't even know if it's still there or not, but I had a big cyst on my shoulder the other day from having the ice cream because my body's like, what? So I just want to encourage you. Nobody's perfect. And I definitely don't want to paint a picture of being perfect. I'm not perfect. There are days where I feel like a Magnum bar and one of my favorite ice cream bar, and this afternoon, my mom's in town. I only get to see her once or twice a year because she lives on the other side of the country. And we walked downtown Greenville and we got some ice cream. We got some rolled ice cream and I had chocolate chunks on it and one of the Girl Scout cookies. So, the thing is that when your decisions are mostly good, I just made a huge plate of guacamole and we're going to have a board game night tonight with the whole family after I do a raindrop on my mom. When your decisions are mostly good and not daily bad, then you can start turning that tide of how you feel. And I'm living proof of that because I grew up with no training, no example, no understanding of nutrition at all, nothing. I mean, I thought the food pyramid was what was healthy. It's not what's healthy. I didn't know that 92% of Americans have some type of a reaction to gluten. And probably because it's hybridized, right? It's not very good for you. So, I didn't know that. And so when you look at the food pyramid and you're supposed to be having 8 servings of grains every single day, well, to the 92% of us that can't handle grains in any form, that's a big problem. That's going to lead to inflammation and all sorts of stuff happening in the human body that you don't want to happen. So I just want to encourage you guys, wherever the Lord leads you and whatever you need to be doing, that's the place that you should start. If he leads you to cutting a couple ingredients out and that's what your summer looks like, you're doing a great job. If he leads you to going all in and like getting the GAPS book and reading it and trying, to work your way through the stages and learning how to ferment things and drinking bone broth and all that, that's great too. If he doesn't lead your feet to that space, but you just want to cut out one of your vices, like drinking coffee every day, or you're just not going to do as much sugar, you're going to stay under 10 grams. Guys, it's a journey. All right, it's a journey. So do not beat yourself up. I was not like, bam, got it in one day. It's something that's taken me almost 12 years to learn with gut health, but I am so much healthier in my 40s than I was in my 20s. I'm so much healthier. So if you just need that nudge and that encouragement to say, hey, I know it requires discipline and I know it requires time in the kitchen and I know it requires, not necessarily shopping at the grocery store, but befriending farmers and getting things outside the store. And I know it's a lot of work and I know it's a commitment, at least take it from somebody who's on the other side of it, that when you put that time in and you spend the time in the kitchen and you build those relationships with farmers and you start sourcing things differently and you learn 1 meal and then you learn 2 meals and then you learn 3 things, you're doing a great job. Maybe you're not perfect right away, but you're doing a great job and you're on the road to moving the right direction. You're not just doing it the way you've always done it. And you know what? That's great. That's great. I cannot believe how many things we literally cured in our family just by changing our food. I mean, my husband's eczema that he had for 25 years, totally gone when we cut gluten. My candida, my systemic candida, the cysts that were all over my shoulders and my spine and my face, totally gone. Totally gone. And unfortunately, it wasn't just cutting pop that got rid of it. It was a total diet change for us. But my journey started with the pop. It started cutting that and it started cutting other things. And it started by paying attention to ingredients and label reading. That was my beginning place. So, just be encouraged and know that if the Lord has convicted your spirit to start making some changes, then it's good. Right? It's good. Good. Cecilia says, my rosacea is under control. I believe it. Is monk fruit a good sugar substitute? It is. Yeah, it is. I try to stay with stuff that's as natural in its normal form as possible. So honey, raw honey, maple syrup. GAPS doesn't allow maple syrup at the beginning. So, but I try to stay with stuff that just, it is the way that God created it to look and it's not a frankenfood, right? And that's a good place to start, but also sugar, just look at your sugar consumption because between sugar, gluten, and dairy, if you just focused on those 3 things this summer, you would see such a difference. Jordan says, what about organic cane sugar? That's a good baby step. But I would love to get you to a place where you just don't need sugar. You just don't need it because it ruins your skin. It ruins your gut. It feeds bacteria that are opportunistic and they jack your immune system up. It messes with your hormones. It makes you age. You don't need sugar in your life. So anything you can do to minimize your exposure to that is good. I wouldn't even do organic cane sugar. If it was me, I would cold turkey that thing. just stand down. All right. So I want you guys just to be encouraged that even if you've grown up with no tutor, even if you've grown up with only processed food and you don't know how to cook and you have no idea what you're doing, you can still learn it. You can still learn it and you can still have the next 20 years be better than your last 20 years. Don't be discouraged after watching all the stuff in that class. Be encouraged, be convicted, and start in that place where the Lord would have you start, no matter where that place is. It took a while before I was mentally ready to do the GAPS diet, like several years before I was ready. So if you're in a place where maybe what you want to do is learn how to make bone broth and you haven't cut everything out of your diet yet, but you're just going to start getting something good in your body because you look at what is nourishing your gut every day and you're not seeing enough things nourishing it, that's a great place to start. All right, it's a great place to start. So that said, I hope that you're encouraged and not beat up too bad. Tomorrow night, we're going to do the workbook, and it'll be a little bit of a longer session because we're going to tear apart the class, and I want to show you how to get the most out of this information. Like, how does it lead to OGV with Young Living? Like, what are products we can use to really kind of, pull you out of the class and bring that class to life? The workbook is the night for that. But tonight, let's focus for just a couple minutes on the mini. So I'm going to turn, while I'm holding my phone, I'm going to turn to the gut health class. So 106 is Fearless. 107 is the Raindrop class. 108, 109 is the feelings class, which we did last week. And then 110 is the gut health class. So there's 4 sections to the mini, and let's just walk through them. The first one is remembering the class. So this will just give you some highlights of some of the important things from that class. So there's just a few sentences. So 90% of sickness and disease starts in the gut. 90%. Your gut includes your mouth, your esophagus, your stomach, your small intestine, your liver, your gallbladder, pancreas, large intestine, which is your colon, and your rectum. It starts where the food goes in and ends where the food comes out. So people think that the gut is just your stomach or just your intestines. It's actually your entire digestive tract. A few offenders that damage the gut are antibiotics, antacids, medications, hormone replacement therapies, birth control, stress, old age, alcoholism, pollution, toxins, x-rays, climate, sleep, and diet. All those things can really wreak havoc on the gut. The biggest healing aids in the standard diet are fermented foods, bone broth, good fats. Fat is food for the brain. It's really good for you to get, I cannot wait to go downstairs and eat that guac that I just made. Avocado is a really good fat. Really, really good fat. Probiotics, that helps your gut create and generate good bacteria. And the good bacteria keep the bad bacteria, that opportunistic bacteria, in check. So you want probiotics in your diet. Enzymes help you break down your food so you're getting the nutrients out of what you eat. Shoo, if I'm going to eat a salad, I want to absorb more than 7% of the vitamins and minerals, right? You're eating it with enzymes, you're absorbing way more than 7%, sometimes as much as 80% of what you're eating. And then omega-3, 6, 9s, and 12s. That's basically omegas help the body communicate. They help it talk. And they do 100 other things too. But when you're communicating, then things work better, right? They work better. I love guac. Ramir says, oh, I know, right? It's so good. And I like my guac simple. I just put salt and lime in it. That's it. Salt and lime. So some examples of fermented foods are water or milk kefir, homemade yogurt, raw cheese, coconut kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, kombucha, kvass, pickles, but not the pickles with corn syrup and stuff, good pickles. Garlic, veggies like ginger, carrots, fermented condiments like sour cream or ketchup. There are good fats and bad fats. Good fats are brain food. Bad fats, like trans fats, act like poison in the human body. 90% of canola oil is from genetically modified plants, GMOs. You do not want that, any canola oil in your body. Same thing with vegetable oil, really bad for the human body. Bad fats are linked to a host of issues, from birth defects to cancer to diabetes, heart disease, liver problems, obesity, and sterility. All of that. So shop the perimeter of the grocery store, because that is where the healthy foods are, your fruits and your veggies. How do you ferment sauerkraut? Super easy. You just cut up the cabbage, you put it in a mason jar, and you can put a weight in there. They call it pickle weight. It keeps it under the water, and you put salt on it. And it ferments basically in the salt water. It's pretty awesome. 90% of Americans buy processed food because it's easier, but you don't need it. You don't even need the organic processed food. Don't get the garbage. Why are probiotics like Young Living's Life 9 good for you? Well, they help clear infections from the gut. They resolve imbalances in the gut. How about this, guys? Can you agree to just order some Life 9 and take it at bedtime every night for the next 30 days and just start there? Like if that's just one place you begin, that's a great, great place to begin. They help with weight loss. They help with insulin resistance. They can help fight celiac disease. They help the liver with detoxification. They help the kidneys cleanse. They help the bowels eliminate toxins. So why are enzymes important? They're great for energy production. Anybody need energy? We were just talking about energy drinks, right? Maybe start with some enzymes first and see how your body handles it. They're great for absorption of oxygen, reducing inflammation. They get nutrients to your cells. They carry away toxic waste. They break down fat in your blood. They regulate cholesterol and triglyceride levels. They dissolve blood clots. They assist with proper hormone regulation, and they slow the aging process. So all of that stuff is really, really, really good for your body. One oil that supports the gut lining is frankincense Vitality. So frankincense provides support by protecting the gut from damage that's caused by inflammation. All right, so those are all of our key points from the class. The next thing is the heart message, which is the why behind the training. Why do you even want to work on your gut? Like, why does your gut even matter? Why is it that big of a deal? The single biggest shift in my health did not come from an essential oil. And that's just me shooting straight with you guys as a diamond, like in root to crown. It wasn't my biggest shift. I love oils. I love them and they're amazing and they do 10,000 things for the body, but I didn't heal my gut lining with essential oils. I'm speaking to you as a diamond, talking out of a book about oils, the mini to you, right? As I run my family business on the backbone of sharing oils with my friends and family. So you know that it's legit when I come from that place and I'm just speaking honestly and openly with you guys. You can't use an oil to band-aid a lifestyle decision, right? You can't go to McDonald's 7 days a week and then put peppermint on your belly and be like, oh, all my McDonald's is fixed, right? It's all okay now, right? You can't do that. So I have yet to find an oil that can heal the lining of the human gut. That takes hard work. It takes lifestyle changes that many people are just not willing to do. You have to get to a fork in the road. You've got to get to a breaking point in your health where you want to shift your lifestyle enough to work on your gut. And guys, I'm just going to be totally raw and honest with you. It is a big commitment and it does require lifelong habit changes. It does not require perfection. Like I had ice cream today, so it doesn't require perfection, but it does require learning new things. Most importantly, it requires having discipline to say no when everybody else around you is enjoying things that you love, the things you love. But you have to love yourself more. And you've got to be willing to fight harder. You got to fight hard for yourself. And you know, that's what it's going to take to feel better, is to fight for you. So I just pray that this little class, which had very little to do with oils, you guys were very patient with me and gave me grace this week in boot camp as I trained on an oils page on a non-oils topic. I pray that it just really gives you some real hope. The reality is that this little book, the little mini, is not just an oils book, it's a lifestyle book. And it trains on wellness. And oils are a huge part of that journey for me. But when it comes to the gut, I was healed with food and with supplements, and I'm now on the other side of my gut injury. For 24 years, I had brain bleeds, and I was on a litany of medications. I've been medication-free for 9 years. My migraines are gone. My brain bleeds are gone, and I'm healthier at 43 than I was at 23. But the work was legit. I mean, I would be lying to you guys if I told you that it was easy, because it really wasn't easy. It required a lot of self-sacrifice and letting things go. Despite the investment, I can tell you it absolutely was worth it. Quality of life is worth the investment that you're going to make. Enjoying my kids and my grandkids, and tonight my mama, it's worth it. Doing what I'm called to do is worth it. Feeling healthy is worth it. It is worth the fight and the self-control and all the new things like bone broth and fermented foods. I promise you, it is worth it all. The journey is worth it all. So you might ask yourself, really, Sarah? Like, really? Really. I do believe that it was worth it. I can't imagine sitting in bed 10 days a month with the migraines that I had 20 years ago today. In my 40s. Like, I am just so grateful that that part of my past is behind me. But it took a lot of self-control to be able to get to that place. So, Jody says, I can't believe you're 43. Jody, I love you. I love you so much. All right. So what to order? So you're handing this book to your new people. They just sat through a gut health class, and now you're going to say, all right, this is where I want you to start. Life 9, Essentialzyme 4, Ningxia, Omega, guys. Like, start with those 4 things. Life 9, good bacteria, right? Essentialzyme, enzymes. Ningxia, antioxidants. Omega, guys, omegas. So start with those 4 things. action steps. So we tell them what to order, and then we give them some homework, some things to go do once they get done reading the book, get done sitting through the class. Get your hands on Gut and Psychology Syndrome, Natasha Campbell McBride's book on GAPS, if you feel called to do that. Check out some new cookbooks like the Heal Your Gut cookbook by Hilary Boynton and Mary Brackett. I really like that if you're considering the GAPS diet, or any cookbook by Danielle Walker, especially Against All Grain. That was one of her first ones that she used to heal her gut. Make some bone broth from well-sourced chickens. Like, you could totally do it. Make meals with one ingredient foods. Don't get all the weird stuff. Like tomorrow I'm going to make cheesy chicken casserole, and there's only a couple ingredients in it. Shredded chicken, which I'm sourcing my chicken well, butternut squash that I cook and scoop out and puree in my Vitamix, peas, coconut oil, and herbamare and apple cider vinegar. It's 6 one ingredient foods. That's something that's really nourishing my family. It's got a protein source in it. It's got 2 vegetables in it. And the squash, which I don't like squash, it takes on the flavor of cheese. It's really stinking good. So I'll put that recipe up for you guys, and then I'll make it so that you can see me eating it. So make meals with one ingredient food. Start supplements like the ones we just talked about. Yeah, guacamole, right? That was 3 ingredients. It was avocado, salt, and lime, and that was it. And then pray for the strength to make the changes that you need to make, because the road is hard, but the payoff is worth every drop of work. Cecilia says, I made cauliflower gnocchi. I've never even heard of that. You're going to have to post that recipe for me and I'll try it out. All right. I love you guys. Let me give away some minis. I'll give away 10 minis to 3 different people, and then we'll wrap this up. And I hope you join me. Join me tomorrow night for the workbook, because I'll give you some good action steps. And then next week, we're going to talk supplements. Like, we're going to take this next level. I did the gut health class first on purpose to set the stage for the supplements class, and you're not going to want to miss that one next Tuesday. So make sure you join me. All right, 10 minis. Oh, let's see here. Lori Marini, you just won 10 minis. Diana Marta Calderon, you just won 10 minis. And let's see here. Who else is on here? I'm just scrolling. Ooh, you guys. Carrie Snyder, you just won 10 minis. So congratulations, all 3 of you guys. If you can email me at oilabilitywithsarah, SARAH, @gmail.com. We'll get those mailed out to you. And I love you guys. I'm going to go eat some guac, do a raindrop on my mom, and go play a board game with my family before she heads back to New York tomorrow. But I pray tonight was an encouragement to you. You don't feel discouraged, but you feel excited about what's in front of you, because feeling better is always a good reason to be excited. Always, always. You're worth fighting for. I want you to say that to yourself tonight before you go to bed. And I want you to say it to yourself tomorrow morning. I'm worth fighting for. I hate the word deserve. I've always struggled with the word deserve, because it's like, as a Bible believing Christian, I'm like, well, I deserve, not to go to heaven. I'm a sinful person and I make mistakes, and I'm not perfect. There's only one person that's perfect, and that was Jesus. So I feel like I don't deserve anything, but you are worthy of good health, right? You're worthy of that. So fight for yourself, right? Fight for yourself. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow night for the workbook. All right. It's our last night of gut health. I'll see you soon. Bye.